Hello. Oops, I forgot to put it on comments. Hello, Austin. How you doing? Get my stuff together. I never have my stuff together. Oop. Okay. I think I have it figured out. Oh, good. I'm glad. We've been trying to dodge all that stuff in my house. All that springtime cooties. So I am glad you're feeling better though. So I'm gonna try and do this and kind of throw my lives around a little bit different times. Hi Nadia, drive safe. I'm gonna try and just do different because I know we're on different schedules, etc. And I know that I've gotten a couple emails about some people saying they miss me because they are more early people. I'm a night owl, but also I've got to do some computer work tonight for my business, so I'll have to be on here instead of, living my best life online. So, but while I was getting some of my work done today, I was watching, catching up on everything. And last night we went over and caught up on the story of Lynette and Brian Hooker, who are Michigan natives. Oh, yes, I am too. Just wait till summer. We're all going to be up all, I'll try. That's what I was thinking if I could do. Because like what I like to do, I'll get up kind of early sometimes and get some things done. And then I'll take a nice nap in the afternoon with my little guy. And then, we get up, we do dinner, we play, whatever. And then he goes to bed. And then the nighttime is mine because driver doesn't get home usually till 11, 12 o'clock. So I'm really excited. I love, if I was a better homeschooler, I'd homeschool my kids and we just have our own schedule. Hi, KD. How you doing? Oh, no worries. No worries. We talked about all this earlier. So I'm doing my errands and stuff. I listened to, and right now you're going to see me, I'm doing some, some cleaning, which I find it kind of funny that, one of the things that I have been told is that, the more that I get out on YouTube, like I'll get a lot of great people, but along with that comes, the stinkers, oh, you gotta be better. You gotta be better than that, Lily. Anyway, like that. So like Lily, who learned a new word today, apparently, and apparently has a hard time spelling too. But you're gonna get people like that. And oh, I love a good nap, Nadia. I love a good nap, especially when it's nice out and the windows are open. You got that nice breeze, and it's just, and it is gorgeous outside today. So, just anybody like that. This is what I'm learning is, if somebody's getting a little hot over a comment or something like that, or with their opinion, I understand that. But yeah, if somebody's going to be just outright nasty, and it's not even about me because I really don't care. Like I said, I was a hairdresser for 30 years. My Thursday and Friday, all of my clients were like 75 and over, and they were kind of grumpy sometimes. So hi, Heidi. Good to see you. I hope all is well with you also. Thunderstorm naps are the best. Yes. And I have a slider door in my bedroom right next to my bed, so I can open it up and I can actually see the storm and see all the rain coming down and, crack the window and hear it. And one of my favorite things. But yeah, so thank you, Lily, for being, our example of what I was actually talking about. And so anyway, back to what I was saying before Lily showed us how she can spell. I thought it was just funny that I had a troll the other day come on a video that is like 7 months old. Okay. 7 months old. Tell me you're not pressed if you're watching a 7-month-old video of mine. And, she was talking about, she said, oh, girl, how about instead of you being on here talking, why don't you go clean something and organize? How unhygienic. Well, first of all, again, and this is very much kind of like what we were talking about with this whole Brian Hooker thing. When you do something for a really long time, like the safety protocols and things to do it just kind of come naturally to you. They aren't a chore. It's just something that you automatically know that you do. And cleanliness and hygiene was burned into my brain. In the 30 years that I did nails, I never, ever got a strike about any of my equipment, my area, anything from the state board. So I'm pretty proud of that. And I literally have a favorite set of Clorox cleanup wipes. So to try and even say, hi, I can't remember if I said hi to you already, Cricket, but hello. Oh, exactly, Cricket. It's just so stupid. And I was talking to Driver about it, and he's like, oh my gosh. He's like, yeah, that person absolutely doesn't know you at all. He's like, because I'm literally like Lysoling the boys as they come in the house, oh my gosh, especially after the vid. In fact, that's one of the things I crack up, because when we were going through some of the stuff in my mom's garage, we found literally, I could have opened up my own store with all of the like just hoarded packages of Clorox cleanup wipes and Lysol cleaner and bottles of Lysol hey, I tried something a little bit different with the chat today. Is that a little easier for everybody to see on both mobile and? I need to figure out when because I've got a subscription to StreamYard, but I need to figure out when it re-ups, because I think I want to try either Restream or what's the other one? I can't remember the other one. I think like Ickadmel uses it. It does kind of cool things. I don't want anything flash. I can't handle too flashy, but oh, I like that. Oh, I'm telling you. And literally working with people for all of that long, one of the things that we actually prided ourselves on at the salon that I worked at, because I worked at a salon with just 3 girls my last 2 years of doing hair, and it was awesome. And the funny thing is we were all like just uptight, about germs and all that. And so during the vid, when we had to come back, we were actually really proud of ourselves, because through all of that, and I mean, we're seeing, between all 3 of us, hundreds of people a day coming in and out of there. And we had to do the temperature check and all that stuff, but none of us ever, I got it before everything shut down. I didn't know I was pregnant either, but I had a client come back from Jamaica after being in the hospital for like a month, and they didn't know she was going to make it, didn't know what she had. And then all this stuff comes out. It was in January, because they had gone on a Disney cruise for Christmas. And that's when she got sick on the cruise ship. And so, yeah, it was mind blowing. But none of us got it. And none of our clients, we just kept everything so clean, bleached everything every day, Clorox cleanup wipes, all that stuff. So, and I am sorry, I don't look in the camera because my camera is way up here and my chat is way over here. So, I will figure that out. I will get used to that. I'm thinking what I might start doing is using my phone, so I can put that in front, and then I can just look at the chat on my computer. Yeah, I can do that. There. Is that better? I want it. My neighbor across the street a little while back just started a closet reorganizing business, and she's already got a cleaning business. Oh man, I told the guys, I'm like, listen, you can take every present for like till I'm dead and just have this lady come and organize all of our closets. That would make me happy for life, you know? I mean, oh gosh. So a couple things before we get into this Ashleigh Banfield thing, and I am going to talk about stuff while I'm doing this other stuff. Because it is Website Wednesday, and this channel did start about my business. If you are new and don't know, I create custom press-on nails. I do have some freestyle ones on my website that are one size fits all. They're 14 to 16 piece sets, so you get a wide variety. Each set comes with one of these little kits. And it is a little file, a little orange wood stick, a buffer, glue, the sticky tabs, and then a little card with some tips and hints on it about how to apply your nails. So just know you're getting all your stuff. And I'm going to show you some of the stuff real quick that's going to be up on the website tonight. I'm waiting on my containers for the scrubs and the soaks. So as soon as I get those, I don't want to sell anything that I don't have the containers for and have you guys have to wait. So I'd rather wait to put it up on the website. But one of the first products is these nail oil pens. It is like about, it's half an ounce. And all you do is you just take the cap off. There's a brush on the end. I can't find my camera. Then you just screw the end and dip it around your cuticles. At the moment, I have 3 scents. I have fresh cut rose. And I've got these in the pens in half-ounce bottles with brushes. And then I also have small little 0.3 ounce little dropper bottles. And so these have, I think if I hold it up in that light, you can kind of see that little dropper in there. You drop it right on your nails. And this really does last quite a long time because you don't need much. Oh yes, thank you. I always forget. I forget I'm not just on here talking with my homegirls, right? Oh yeah, I cannot. These are awesome. Now these are a blend of jojoba oil, coconut oil, rose hips oil, and not coconut oil in this one. Jojoba oil, rose hips oil, and vitamin E oil. And I'm telling you, if you get those little hangnaily things, this stuff heals you overnight. I also have, now I only have it in the pens. Ooh, watch out, everybody. And in the large 1 ounce bottles, but this is the unscented and it's the same blend. And my website is right at the bottom, but I will post the link in here. Okay, spell check me, Truth Warrior, because I'm on my computer and I can't. And then I've got it scrolling. You probably can't see it if you're on mobile, but my website, the pay site is all completely private and safe. It goes through like a bonded site. I had applied for Afterpay, and someone told me that I got to look today. Someone told me it just popped up this weekend. So I do also offer Afterpay, but there's PayPal, Venmo, and all the major credit cards. And I think, you have to, with this website, I have to apply for each payment way to make sure that I'm not, doing anything, naughty or whatever against the law. And so, oh, that one tipped over. I thought I smelled some of this. So yeah, it's completely secure. I don't get any of your financial information. The only thing that I get is whatever name you put in there and whatever address you decide to have it shipped. Hi Sue, how you doing? This stuff is awesome. Like I said, I have unscented too for people that are sensitive to scents. But right now I've got the Fresh Rose. I've got Love Spell, which is these little guys. And then I have got this, which I'm going to try and rename it. So maybe you guys can even help me rename this. Some of you, if anybody buys this and tries it. This is a mixture of, it's peppermint, eucalyptus, and sage oil. And it's also got the jojoba, the vitamin E, and the rose hips oil in it. But this stuff is great, not only for like if you sore, tired feet, hands, things like that, but also how this one got created, I woke up in the middle of the night completely plugged last year. And yeah, I should. See, that's what I should do, is rename these to like crime. Ooh, Truth Warrior. Girl. That's a good idea. Why did I not think of that before? A derp. Well, so the formerly known as Relief, now known as Murderment. Okay. It is awesome. In the middle of the night, I was trying, I didn't have any Vicks. I didn't know what to do. I was completely like, have you ever been like that, like just cement where it won't go in, it won't go out. You can't blow, you can't do anything. My throat, I was choking. I went downstairs, got all my oils out, and I mixed this up. And I put it on my sinuses, on my temples, up above, and a couple drops under my nose. Within 15 minutes, I quit coughing. My nose helped clear up. And I didn't wake up with that like gooey, you know how Vicks gives, it's petroleum jelly with camphor or menthol in it. And so you get that kind of like grease. I didn't have that grease. And the other nice thing about it is that rose hips oil, it has tons, well, all three, rose hips, jojoba, and vitamin E have tons of antioxidant properties in them. But rose hips oil is very specially known for being anti-aging, having anti-aging properties. So I have been putting that in every, oh, my light died. What happened? Oh, good grief. We didn't need that, did we? Well, now that I just gave myself an x-ray, what happened? Oh, excuse me, my little light got a little, right? Well, hey, I don't know if you guys can see, but do you see right up there in the corner, that little red thing? That's my mom. So y'all better be nice to me, because my mom is right there. Okay? She's right there. And she was a teacher, so you know. But this is dual properties. Now, the other nice dual property of the unscented is this is, again, unscented, but both my boys get that really horrible chap around their lips in the wintertime because they're licking their lips and they're scratching. If you put some of this on before they go to bed, the unscented, because you don't want those like peppermint or any of the scented oils around your mouth or anything. You don't want, essential oils getting in your mouth. It's not a happy time. But this literally heals them overnight. I mean, it keeps it like no infection, no anything. And then they don't have a scar. They don't have that. So these will all be up on the website tonight. I have to take different pictures because the pictures that I took looked stupid. So, but I have a different app I'm going to try. So those will be up. And like I said, these gotten the Love Spell, Fresh Cut Rose, and I will be making some more. Again, I got these bottles in. I'm waiting for these bottles of the new scents that we have, which was the Cashmere Marshmallow, which, oh my gosh, like so this is what we're going to do. We are going to, oh, hi, my man, Jerry. Thank you. This is me. Oh, me too, Katie. And what I'm trying to slowly like put out products because I want to make sure that what I'm putting out is nice and it's got like, I can't put anything out that's like, has a prescription value to it, like no retin-A or anything like that, but just really good moisture. Because one of the things with hair, nails, everything, if you don't have a good base of where they're growing out of, if that's not healthy, then your hair's not going to be healthy, your nails aren't going to be healthy, etc. You can also, vitamin E is also a nice one to take every day, because it helps with inflammation, it helps with moisture in your skin, and it's just one of those all around great vitamins to take. So, and if you're in a pinch and you have something that's like really dry or chapped, I've actually clipped open one of those little vitamin E capsules, put it on there, rubbed it on, and gone overnight. So that's our cuticle oils that are coming. I showed you guys the keychain helpers and stuff like that, which I actually used the one that's got the rubber nub on it, because I could not get my little guy out of his car seat the other day, and my finger was sore, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And all of a sudden it was like ding, ding, ding. So I ran and grabbed one, and it opened that little car seat belt up like nothing. Like it was the butter. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to put on there. Oh yeah. Yeah. See, me too. I start about now, like doing all the buffing and the, and that's what I'll show. Do I have it sitting right here? Where did I put it, you guys? Let me see. I just had it here because I wanted to show everybody. Where did it go? One second. Okay, I have no idea where I put it. I had it all. I thought I had it all right here, but I've got a line of, so far what I have is foot and hand scrub, and it's gritty enough to get all the gook off and help get the cuticles off the edges, and it's great for your feet. Oh my gosh, I love this stuff for my feet. But it's not so gritty that even if you have like sensitive skin, it's a little bit finer scrub. So it's more of like a polisher, I guess. I can't do those really coarse salt scrubs. It's just too much, and I don't really see that it helps that much. But this one is kind of more like sand. And no, this is my Michigan. I've had a deep voice and this accent ever since I was a little kid. I was the little kid on the playground that everybody could hear halfway across the thing. So no, I'm not going to be mad at all, Jerry. I want you guys to get to know me. Ask away. I am a smoker, though. Okay. And I'm getting over that crud. And that's what stinks. Hi, Jonathan. I had just got back my normal voice. I think, what was it? Did I have it like a week? And then I got sick again. So, that's what I should do. I should put in my description, like, you guys hurry. I got my normal voice today so you can hear what I sound like. Hey, Rhonda. There was somebody up above that I saw came in too, and I was in my kerfuffle over here. And so whoever I missed, hello. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I mean, I do smoke. So, but yeah, I was that little kid that had the grown-up voice. Does that make sense? So, but what I was going to show you was the scrub, and I thought I had it right here. See, I try to be prepared, you guys. I really do try, but it doesn't ever happen all the way. But the scrub is, it's a combination of, it's got that same jojoba, vitamin E, and rose hips oil in it. But I use salt and chia seeds, and then some natural flowers. Like in the eucalyptus one that I have, there's actually pieces of eucalyptus leaf that help exfoliate too, but they're not rough. They're not going to cut you or scratch you or anything like that. Just enough to kind of get the ickies off. And in fact, Molly Golightly, people that follow her know that she had her ingrown toenails removed, and she had all this cruddy on her toes, and she was so, like, you know how we feel about our feet. And so I sent her some of this to try when I first did it, just to, she's my guinea pig. So if she burst into flames or anything, it was, she could tell me before I sent it out to people. But she loved it. She said it got all that little yucky stuff off the edges of her toes and all that stuff. So, and what you do is you take maybe about a tablespoon, like for your hands, you really don't need that much. And you could probably split a tablespoon between both feet, but you take dry, clean hands, rub it around really good, really scrub all that gucca and all that stuff. And then rinse it with some nice warm water and then just pat dry. You don't want to rub because you want that stuff to stay on your skin. And then you just kind of rub it in and it soaks in and you're not greasy afterwards. You're not, it's really nice. I hate greasy. I hate too coarse of stuff that's just sitting on the top of your feet. So yes, we have got that. I will have that in the murder mint scent. I was going to say flavor. Please don't eat it. It won't taste good. And then I'm having the hardest time getting my Love Spell oil. So I have a recipe. I've got a recipe, and truth, I think, did you say you had a recipe or you were going to find one? And so I'm going to try it and thought, hey, maybe it'll be a little bit better. Even if I'm using even more pure oils, it might have a stronger scent. So I'm on the hunt for Love Spell. So I won't be able to make that scrub until I can get that. We've got the cashmere marshmallow, and then what was that other one? It was amber and sage. Smells so good and clean and fresh. My little 5-year-old picked those two out because mommy was plugged up. So, all right, no problem. Talk to you in a few. And then the next thing that's going to be up there are these. These are orangewood sticks, but they have like file material on the end. These are great for getting around your toenail, getting around your nails, getting underneath nails, toenails. It's got enough grit that it gets all that dead skin out and all that yucca out. And it kind of pushes back and files off that dead cuticle at the same time if you're not somebody that wants to clip your cuticles. But another thing that I use these for is when I'm applying the press-ons. Now, when I say press-ons, these aren't the flimsy, these aren't the flimsy cheap ones, the ones that us Gen X grew up with that, cracked in half when they were on your, you might not be able to see those. Those aren't real bright. This is a set that I did, which I got to send these to her. I don't know if you can see there. We did those with the cat eye, but they're very sturdy. They are reinforced with gel. So it's basically like going to the salon and have you ever had you've gotten a set of gel nails or acrylic nails and the entire nail comes off and you just glue it back on? That's what these are without ripping your nails off first. But this is the secret to keeping your nails on for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You can get that out of a press-on nail, just like you can out of salon nails. You take this and let me reach this. Good Chris, come on. There's nothing ever work when you want it to, right? You take this guy, and this is the inside of the nail. Now, I use most of my nail sets now are pre-etched nails, so you can, if you can see how this area right here is etched and this isn't. But I still recommend take something like this, give it a scratchy through here, and then do your own nails. That's one of the keys. Doing both your nail, and I'm talking take a file. Don't take a buffer, nothing. If it's smooth, it's not going to glue. It needs to be roughed up. And if you do it lightly, it's not going to damage your nail. It's going to grow right out. And then you do this, and then as you put the glue on, scrape it across your entire nail so that it gets in all those little ridges on both the fake nail and your real nail. And then press it down and rock it down so that all those bubbles, you want to make sure, and it's harder when they're painted, but if you take that, rock that down and apply pressure, you're going to get those bubbles out. Bubbles are the enemy of any nail, whether it's acrylic, gel, press on, whatever. So, and each of them come in, they're $2 a pop. They're not bad. They last forever. They come in a little clean foil sheet. So that is what will be getting added to the website tonight, along with as soon as I find my pictures of the other stuff that I took the other night. So but yeah, and the scrub again, chia seeds, salt, the different flowers, things like that go in there. And I list every ingredient on there, just so that, we don't know with allergies, anything like that. You just never know. So, okay, let's get on to this. I have a feeling that Truth is going to have to stop her mower when she hears some of this stuff. Because we were like, I mean, seriously, jaw dropping. Like, what in the world is going on? So, I'm watching Ashleigh Banfield, and that's okay, Heidi. Thank you. But please don't, even if it's Marissa, don't announce other people's lives in here. That's just the one thing that I ask. So, but thank you. So, we have some new stuff going on in the Ashleigh Banfield world. Or in the Brian Hooker, Lynette Hooker case. Saturday night, about 4:30. Oh yeah, we've talked about it. And both of us with family and all of our stuff, and she's got the life coaching, like our schedules are so mishmash. We talked and agreed and said, don't worry about it. If you have to go live, go live. If you've got to go live, go live. So yeah, it's all good. So no worries at all. You got me on loud. That might not be. Hi, Sleuth for Truth. How's it going? Well, then I apologize if I blow your eardrums, Truth Warrior. I still got one of these nights, maybe this weekend sometime, if we both have like some free time, I have to figure out this microphone thing, because I think that'll help me my sound be kind of more level. So anyway, so the timeline is now that around 4:30 they go to, this says between 4:30 and 7 they were at the Abacus Inn, Abaco Inn, having their drink. Okay, and that now we've heard the timeline. The daughter says that she saw on security footage them leaving about 6:38 together, but we don't know where they were when she saw them on this camera. Okay, so according to him, it was 7:30 that they left, and we know that to not be correct now. So it says that they left, they got in their dinghy around 7:30, 7:45. That's what he said. And once they got out of the channel right there, they took a left. Oh, he lying big time. He lying. They took a left, and now it's only about a 10 to 15 minute trip from there to their boat. Okay. So he's saying that all of a sudden, the wind whipped up, everything got crazy, and she fell out of the boat. Okay. And where he's showing is really not that far out of this channel. And we were looking last night at some of the maps. There's sandbars all around there. The water would have only been a couple of feet high, because it was, there was still four hours till high tide. I believe that's what it was, wasn't it? Like 10 something p.m. was high tide. Or no, it was, yeah, waist high, exactly. And other people have said this too. It wasn't that deep, okay? So she literally could have stood up if she fell out, or at least swam to a little, she would have hit ground eventually. So yeah, yep, tide rising, yep. And he's saying 2 to 4 foot waves, which are big waves in a little 8-foot dinghy. I mean, yeah, they are. Wind screaming, and it was dark, and he couldn't see her. She bounced off the back and was separated from him due to wind and the currents. Said that he threw a cushion to her, but he didn't see if she grabbed it. She fell out with the dry bag and grabbed the key out of the motor as she was falling back, grabbed the dry bag that was in the pictures that we saw, usually at her feet, and fell backwards out of the boat. So she had all that time, Matrix style, to do all of that, to fall out of the boat. And she also, darn it, had the spare key in her dry bag. So poor Brian was left with nothing, right? And somewhere along the lines, he lost the other oar. So then he floated for the next 9 hours until he hit Marsh Harbor, which is approximately, from what the interviews that we watched last night, is maybe about 20 to 30 minute trip if he's floating with the current. Exactly. You're falling backwards. You're like this. Your arms aren't out, like you might have been like this. But to me, and she was supposedly driving, which was something that apparently didn't happen very often. And so now I was taking quick notes because I was beside myself, because because as I'm getting into this, into her program, like I was like, this is even more different than, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to learn not to foof with my hair because like I can see it and it drives me nuts. So he left, and he left the inn. They left the inn around 7:30, a 10 to 15 minute boat ride. So they should have been, if this happened, if they left at 7:30, they should have already been to their sailboat by 7:45. When he says she fell out of the boat just outside of the channel. And Ashleigh Banfield and several other people who were there said that it literally, between 7:45 and 8, it goes from dusk to all of a sudden at 8 o'clock, boom, it's like somebody shut a light off and it's dark. But exactly, they should have been back to the boat way before dark. And now that we've learned about this a little bit earlier timeline, definitely back to the boat. If they left at 7, even if they fiddled around at the dock or whatever, they would have been back. Did they get back? Now, on the west side of the island is what'd they say? It's around the White Sound Channel and down the shore of Elbow Key. And that was all reported as calm in the Sea of Abacus, where they were. At 6:34, by the pool at the inn, the dry bag is on the ground next to her. So when she's sitting at the Abaco Inn, you can see on the ground next to her that fluorescent green dry bag. Okay? She looks and someone said this last night, they wondered if she was mad, like if they had been kind of arguing, that we're in public, and their relationship was known to be volatile. She had said to people that, that this was hard for them to do. And they've been doing this for 2 years, I think. Ashleigh Banfield thought that she looked cold. And someone else in chat said last night, and I thought about the same thing. Was she mad? Had he said something, or they'd been drinking all day? I mean, is what it sounds like. So I think so too. Yeah, I think it was just like her purse. And he had one too. He had a bright yellow one. So it had all their stuff, everything in it. And let me see. Let me find it. So let me do this. Wait. Let's see. There. Shoo, that was harder than it needed to be. Okay, so you can see down there, down below to her left side, right in there under the launcher, there's her bag right there. And she's wearing that kind of teal, greenish, turquoise colored cover up. Now, this is the west side of the island. So it talked about it being colder and windier in that area. So that makes sense. That we don't know, my man, Jerry. I don't think so either. Yeah. I don't think he's taken a lie detector test. They could not hold him. They didn't have enough evidence to hold him, but they are continuing the investigation. Hi, Italian girl. Good to see you. I'm proud of you too, Truth. It's hard. It's hard to multitask. So that we know that they were at the inn. Supposedly he paid cash for 2 rum and cokes each, so 4 altogether. And then I'm just going over all my notes because, like I said, I don't want to completely watch her show, but she's got some really cool stuff in it. And then 7 p.m. Now this is the new footage that comes out. There is something called a live picture that has popped up, and I didn't know what these things were. I don't know. I probably can do it on my phone. My teenager will probably have to help me, but it's a picture that shows just kind of like a moment in motion. It's not a movie, but like 10 seconds maybe. And I thought this was interesting. So let's see. I'm going to slow it down. Let's see. Okay. So let's see. Right here. You guys see that guy right there? They're going to... Oh, let me take... You probably can't see it. Take that off for a second. So you see back here, right here. I love you, Bugs. Yeah, guess who that is? That is Brian Hooker walking to the dock where their dinghy was tied up alone at 7 o'clock.
And you know what live pictures are, right? They kind of move for like a second and a half or 2 seconds. It's a live picture. And she didn't know it at the time, because how could she? Till she heard about this terrible story and went back to see her picture.
Yeah, had no idea, and all of a sudden realized that this guy is in the back of her picture. Now, this is the thing that I find odd. The daughter said that she saw security surveillance that showed them leaving together at 6:38. Not leaving to the dock, but leaving the inn, okay? So, in that, 12 minutes? I mean, a lot can happen in 12 minutes, right? Idaho 4 was, what they believe, 18 minutes, I think. So, if the daughter saw mom and stepdad leaving the inn together, I'd be interested to see where, and this is the thing Ashleigh Banfields said, she's tried to look at the security footage from this Abacus Inn, and they will not let her see any of it. So my thoughts is there's something that the police said no. Police instantly said, nope, you cannot see it. Told the inn, do not release it. That tells me there's something in it, right? That there's something in it that they're going to need to use if they are going to charge this guy. Because where did she go? Well, and that's it. I think that's it too. They don't want people, and maybe they're learning from like this Nancy Guthrie case, things like that. Look at all of the AI thumbnails, the oh, she's been found and all that stuff, you know? I mean, it's just wild. So let me see. So 7:00, he's walking to the dock towards the dinghy. But another thing, let's see. Yeah, she's gonna.
Which is timestamped 7 p.m. as the sun's going down. So at 7 p.m., if you zoom in, there's somebody.
So there he is, shorts, hat, Panama Jack hat, heading to the dock. And you don't see anybody down here. You don't see anybody back here.
Crossing the road, leaving the Abaco Inn bar area. And it appears to be Brian Hooker. Lynette's not with him. Lots of things could be happening here, guys. But it's...
And do you notice this right here? He's carrying a yellow dry bag. And he's been seen. That's what I think. I wonder if she ever got off the island. There's some other kind of odd details that we didn't know about. What, the surveillance? Is that what you're talking about, my man Jerry? Hi, Janelle. Nice to see you, girl. Welcome, welcome. We did our first half hour was all some of the new products going on my website, and now we are doing true crime. And that's what I wonder. Did she ever even leave that island? Yeah. Is she? Hi, Untamable. Good to see you. Did she ever even make it in the dinghy? You know, I mean, so it says that they left the channel to go to and then went to the left of Elbow Key. So there still would have been daylight to see her in the water if she fell at that time. Because now if you're leaving, your boat's 10 to 15 minutes away, you're only 5 minutes maybe outside of that little channel. You're halfway to your boat in shallow water. If they did air and water search after seeing footage, I'd say she did leave the island. But they hadn't gotten the footage yet. Maybe that's why they still find air search too. Yeah, that's just it. I mean, where did they put her? Oh, lie detector tests. They are not they're not admissible in court because there are things that people can do to, kind of, like there's breathing, there's medications you take, things like that can skew them in either direction, in either saying that you're lying when you're not, or saying that you're telling the truth. Well, that's what we're wondering. But now, without her being with him, that's what we thought last night. We were talking about, said, he probably got out there and took her out to the Atlantic Ocean, because the Atlantic Ocean was described as having conditions like he talks about, with the 2 to 3 foot waves and the blasting, screaming winds, but not this little canal and this little like protected area behind the island. So it's oh, here, I'll say this. Truth says hi to everybody. There, I'll put that back on. Sorry. But so now this is the weird thing. So there's, at the time that he's shown leaving, there still would have been daylight. He still should have been able to see. That's what I'm wondering too. Did he knock her out? Or there's a lost oar out of that boat. So we were wondering if she ever did get in that dinghy. Did he whop her one? And maybe she grabbed for the oar. He shoved her. And she grabbed for the oar and it went with her. But that's what I wondered about. They thought about that in that Kaylee Anthony. Oh, no, sodium pentothal. That's the truth serum. Sorry, no. I know what you're talking about. See, again, I think that's something that is not admissible because someone could possibly be manipulated by the interviewer or by conditions around. So I don't think that there's any kind of like anything like that that's actually admissible. They would use it maybe, like they could use it maybe for probable cause to look into something, but they wouldn't be able to use it to convict somebody. Exactly. It is very calm waters. Like they said, it's like, I think she says later on in this that it's like being in a swimming pool. And you know, again, we weren't boaters that lived on our boat, but we were fishermen. And so we really did know when we were going someplace where there was a port in the storm, you know, like where there was protection in case, because on the Great Lakes, storms can pop up anytime. Some of them, they talk about Lake Michigan and Lake Superior literally having their own weather because they're so deep and there's so much water and so much between the land. And I'm just wondering about this. There's something else, though, that I thought was weird. So the Firefly Inn, that is where they actually came into town Friday night. Okay. But one of the things that the Firefly Inn owner said is that the Sea of Abacus is so protected, you could be snorkeling and be absolutely fine. And then literally on the other side of the island in the Atlantic, there could be 30-knot winds, waves screaming. And that would be on the east side of Elbow Key. So they are spotted. They weren't actually, there's no footage to show them actually at the Firefly Inn. They just threw anchor out in the water, out in front of the Firefly Inn. And they were spotted. This video cam shows them at approximately, I think it was 11 o'clock, but they had gotten there the night before. Afternoon before. So they then pulled anchor, headed south, and then anchored to get in the dinghy to head to Abaco Island the next day at around 11 p.m. Yes, they had. There's actually some DV reports. One incident, she was arrested, but it's very weird because there's other reports of him being very violent with the children. One report talks about him picking up one of the kids and slamming them against the wall. And in the details, I believe he had this child in a chokehold and was saying, "You call me sir." This is an ex-Marine. It sounds like they're very, very heavy drinkers. And when the police arrived that night, she was heavily intoxicated too, but she was locked in a room upstairs with another family member, and he was downstairs, and he had like a slash across his face. But, you know, therein lies the problem. Was she defending herself or trying to defend the children, and then locked herself in the room, and he happened to have a mark, and that's why, because she didn't have any marks, she's the one that went to jail. That's kind of what it sounded like to me. Like the mark on him was the determining factor. And sometimes it doesn't matter. They just need to get people apart. Yeah, he was charged. So, and like they said, they were looking at the boat and the dinghy. The whole time on the security footage from the Firefly Inn, the dinghy was attached to the boat. So they did not use that, get off and take that inland to go to they didn't use the dinghy to go to the Firefly Inn. There was no purchases found there, no credit card purchases. But the bartender at the Abaco Inn said that they paid in cash, or that Brian paid in cash. So they may not necessarily have used credit cards on their They didn't ride in it. They arrived that earlier at 1:30 p.m. approximately on Friday and stayed anchored overnight in front of that Firefly Inn. They didn't leave the boat. They spent the night, and then at 11 a.m. pulled up anchor and pulled out. It doesn't show them in the restaurant. No credit cards. Cash paid at Abacus Inn. All right, no problem, Sleuth. Good to see ya. Here's come from the cops or called for domestic. Exactly, Untamable. Somebody, and it might have been, like I said, something where it was just better to get them separated so everybody was safe that night. Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't mean that she did anything. Let's see. But it says there is no video of them coming to the shore ever. And again, Abaco Inn is not sharing any footage. The police said no. So there's something in that footage. Because they showed the picture of him. They showed the picture of them at the pool. But that's all they've got. And there's some weird things that came up too. Like he stated that he called out to her. First, he said he couldn't hear her. Next time he was interviewed, he said he called out. Thought she said something, but couldn't quite hear or couldn't figure out what she was saying. And what does it say? They did not anchor until they got near Lubber Island, which is about 2,000 yards away. Oh, that's what it was. When he was in the dinghy and floating, he didn't throw. He threw his anchor out at that Lubber's Island, which is 2,000 yards away from where she supposedly went in, and that's also where he fired the flare. Okay, so then they haven't let anything go. Now that guy has interviewed that bartender. I thought that was from the hotel. Okay. That makes sense then. So they're not letting anything go. And they also, which, let me show this too. Let's find it. So here she is. There's her green bag on her.
To the last known photo at the pool over on the Atlantic side of Elbow Key at the Abaco Inn. It's hard to make it out, but it sure looks like there's something lime green on the ground to the left of Lynette.
Yep, right there. So we know that is her dry bag. And like we said, it sounds like it's her personal dry bag because you see her with it in a lot of her pics. And this is them. This is them anchored out in front of the Firefly Inn. So they are right there. And well, that's exactly it. Why fire the flare then? And then continue, then pull your anchor up and float over to the marina. Like what? It sounds like somebody in panic trying to set the scene to me. And yeah, no, they never came in that night. They supposedly threw anchor and stayed there and slept there overnight. That's something too. I mean, we don't know what exactly they were doing on the boat, how it worked. But like, we had friends that used to in the summertime stay on their boat, and they'd dock it at the, it'd be at the marina, and they'd sleep there. Both of them would sleep, but never out in open water. If they were up in open water, there were, and Ashleigh says this later on, there's always somebody doing wheel watch, because you don't know if a swell comes up, if something happens, tide comes in, you could literally float off to oblivion and not know where you are. Now, I can't imagine this boat, and this is something that Truth and I have kind of talked about too, like these people, and you'll hear this later in a few minutes in the phone call. Exactly. Always one awake. There's nobody ever all goes to bed. And Yeah, the yellow bag. Yep. Yep, the yellow bag. And so it just doesn't make sense to me. And like they said, April 4th, which is the day before, 7:30, on the windy side, it's actually a calm wind. It really wasn't even that strong of a wind. So no whitecaps, calm seas. Now let me find. What was it? 23. Oh, here. Look at this.
Of those docks. Here's what it looks like at 7:15. Do you see a screaming wind? This is April 4th at 7:15 at night.
Yeah, here.
I don't know what Brian's story is or what the real story is. We know the photo of him walking down to the dock is at 7. And we know he says it was 7:30. So I'm going to show you 7 o'clock. 7:15. That is 7:15. Look how calm that water is. Granted, you're coming into a little bit of a bay here as you come into the Firefly Inn, but
I mean, come on. Yeah, I think so too. I think it had all our stuff in it, probably, scrunchie, extra sunglasses, all the stuff we have. Chapstick. I have chapstick for like my car, my room, all that stuff.
Sorry, y'all. This is not a screamer. These are not 2 to 4 foot waves. I don't even see any waves. In fact, the boat that's going out is
This is a perfect time to go for a nice sunset cruise.
Even spraying anything. It's got no side spray because it's not hitting anything. It's just calmly going out in the bathwater. As it goes out a little bit, there's a ripple that starts, but a ripple
and here's a little dinghy.
Is not 2 to 4 foot seas. Again, that's 7:15 at night. Right around the time that Brian is likely getting into the dinghy. According to the video. According to him, it's 15.
That dinghy's probably maybe a little bit bigger than theirs, but not much. Hi, Luna. Good to see ya. I mean, how... Brian. See? Criminals always get caught. They panic. Now this is showing, this is the other side of the island. This is the windy side, the Atlantic Ocean side. Out here is the ocean. She talks about this.
Because the owner of the Firefly Inn pointed it out to me and said, these flags aren't even standing at attention. Like, you can see the palm trees moving, but the wind is not so fierce that the flags are like rigid, in position, at attention. They're kind of fluttering and dropping a little, and they're fluttering again and they're dropping a little. That is not a 30 knot wind. That is not even like...
That's a nice breezy day.
A 20 knot wind. I don't even think it's an 18 knot wind, which is what some of the reports said the wind was when Brian and Lynette were out there. But you can see for yourself, this ain't a screamer. This is April 4th. This is the wind.
Mind you, let me do this because I just realized I've got it sped up. So watch this wind.
At exactly 7:30 on April 4th. And you can also see the effect. It's a little harder to see because the digital, look gets a little dirty as you get closer to the water, but there are no whitecaps out there. There's no 2 to 4 foot seas that I could make out. So now this is the first actual video I have of this.
Nope. I mean, come on. So you see the weather conditions. This is where they would go out. Right out here. Take a left. There's the island. This is protecting everyone.
Know how. I've tried. Brian ain't talking. Probably smart. But
these would have been approximately the condition that they were heading out in from everything that we've seen.
Photos don't lie, right? These timestamps on the iPhone, they don't lie. And now we have him walking across the street, finally, towards the pathway to the dock at 7 p.m. What happened next? Where's Lynette? What happened? What's going on with that dry bag? Where's Lynette's dry bag? Did she have it?
Yeah. Yeah, she said that. I couldn't believe that when she talked about that at the end. I was like, wow. Who knew, Ashleigh? Let me find this. These phone calls, you're going to freak. Oh, I forgot I can do this, right? Let me see if I got this right.
With all this information from Brian and a whole bunch of information he didn't need. Because what Blaine wanted to know was, where were you coming from and going to when this horrible thing? The answer that he got from Brian was just a fucking mismatching hullabaloo of junk. Just junk. I mean, he starts off with coming out of Abaco in and turning left.
And this is what I don't understand either. Like, one of the things to say, when you listen to these, he's put in a bunch of extra information. It's like, here, let me lay this story out for you. And the more that he's thinking of things to add to make it believable. You don't have to do that when you're telling the truth, right? You don't have to do that when you're telling the truth. You just say what happened, and it's usually
out of the White Sound Channel and heading south on Abaco or on Elbow Key. But then he starts talking about, we've been in the harbor and we needed to get out and we went to Great Guanakee. Well, that was too. Hey, everyone, I'm Ashleigh Banfields and this is Drop Dead Serious. And I and Lynette were out there. But you can see for yourself, this ain't a screamer. This is April 4th. This is the wind at exactly in Denmark here. So the recording became critical to them to go back over everything that Brian said. And these clips that I'm going to play for you are the reason why. So Blaine Stevenson is this friend that, was being downloaded with all this information from Brian and a whole bunch of information he didn't need. Because what Blaine wanted to know was, where were you coming from and going to when this horrible thing happened? That's critical, that information. You would want that question, right? The answer that he got from Brian was just a fucking mismatching hullabaloo of junk. And heading south on to Great with what about April 2nd for.
Guys coming from and going to, because that's what,
like, somebody who just is offering way too much. I don't know. You have to listen.
So where were you guys coming from and going to? Because that's what I couldn't figure out in any of the Facebook articles I was reading, like how to do a grid pattern search.
Like, well, I don't really understand the currents and tides here. I kind of rely on Hopetown. Okay, so off of a place called Elbow Key, and that's called Elbow, spelled Elbow-K, C-A-Y. And we were kind of in the middle of the key, and there's a place called Tahiti.
And here is this map showing all of the places. So you've got Lubbers, Quarters K, Hopetown, Lubbers Landing, Tahiti Sandbar. All of these.
Beach is really popular here, and it's a beach that dries out at low tide, and so a barge runs up on it and serves drinks all day from there. And there's a lot of manta rays will go around your legs and everything, and all of that. And so we really like that spot. And we had been kind of stuck in the harbor for a while, so we were getting out and about. And we had to go to a different island called Great Guanakee to refill our scuba tanks.
And there, you see her with her bag, like
we
a purse.
We had to go to a different island called Great Guanakee to refill our scuba tanks, and it was going all right. And yeah, I mean,
wait a second. I'm going to look in that boat to see what we can see. I have to figure it out. There's a way that I can actually zoom into this. I think I have to quit sharing Zoom and then put it back on. I was just trying to see. I would assume that the lifeboats are probably right under here. Or, I mean, the life vests. And then the anchor was like right here. And here's their two cushions. And they're on the exact same side of the other videos that we saw. So her cushion's the blue one, his is the green, and just makes you wonder.
It was going all right. And yeah, I mean, it's been strong easterlies, and that's what you get here is the trades, basically. You're at the top of the trades. And so we were having,
yeah, the trade winds, which is a very well-known current system, wind system, right?
Basically 20 knot winds, steady all day with a couple gusts here and there. And where we were anchored was pretty quiet. But when we came out of this bar called Abaco Inn, we came out of the channel and instantly got into the shit, into the chop.
Hold the phone. Hold the fucking phone.
So as soon as they pulled out, they got into 2 to 3 foot choppy seas. Or, excuse me, 2 to 4 foot choppy seas. In water that we can literally see at the time that he would have been out there is absolutely still. It's a beautiful evening. No, I think that's why he kept saying, I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know where she would be. That's what I'm thinking, right under that bow. That's where ours was. On our fishing boat, we had the little like it opened up, and you can stick everything right in there.
Did you just hear him say, I don't understand the current and the tides here?
I have a problem with that. Because again, these are people that live on this boat. And those boats, it's not like you just have like your sail and you're done. You have GPS, you have depth finder, you have onboard computers that would tell you, that would show you maps of the currents. It literally will show you the maps of the currents. And you also are, and in that interview that we heard about her mother, from her mother last night, do you remember that her mother said she was emphatic about safety? She was always that she was the one checking the currents, the depths, the weather constantly. And we knew certain places that we would go. We would always make sure, if we had never been on a body of water before, so this is if you've never been there before, we made sure we got all of the projections, we got the charts, we got the information before we would go out on there, because nobody wants to be stuck out in the middle of a lake and a big storm come up, right? And it can be perfectly calm one day and it can be choppy the next day, but this wasn't. And it can turn real quick, but this didn't, as we're seeing with the timestamps.
Are you serious? Are you serious? You live on a keelboat. I'm a captain of a keelboat.
Oh, here she talks about it. But yes, this wasn't, again, we were weekend boaters. Okay, this is literally a couple that lives, this is their home. So you telling me that you go out on a sailboat for 2 years and you don't have any kind of satellite equipment, any kind of electronic equipment, nothing. And it's like she mentions in here, and this is something that I was thinking about, the sailboats have a keel at the bottom, which is like a giant blade that slices through the water. You have to know depths. We had to know depths. We had an outboard engine motor. If we didn't, we were hitting stumps or hitting a rock. There's sandbars all over the place in these waters.
Have captained a keelboat, 34-foot CNC in the Whitsunday Islands in Australia. I was a captain, and the only person on board with me didn't know how to sail. So I know what you have to know to be on a keelboat. And I don't live on one.
Any boat, if you're going out onto big water.
This bro lives on one. You know the currents and the tides. If there's one thing you know on a keelboat, it's the tides, my friend.
Yep.
Because the Sea of Abaco is like being in a swimming pool, and you're in a keelboat.
Yep.
And your keelboat has a big old keel that will bang up on the bottom. And
what do we hear? Low tide is literally like 2 to 3 feet, maybe. I think it was like when they were showing that barge bar, it was like up to some, like it was a woman, and it was like up to her knees. It was a woman's legs. So that's what, maybe 2 feet?
tip you over if suddenly the tides go down and you're not in deep enough water. You know the tides. What the? I don't understand the currents and the tides here. Bullshit. You've been there 5 weeks. You've been in the Sea of Abaco and Marsh Harbor, this whole area. You've been there 5 weeks at the least. Oh.
So definitely, because things don't change that drastically day to day. Exactly. Neither of them were. So even if he didn't, if he was lazy or whatever and didn't have the information, she would have had it. They would have known. They would have known all of that. And if they didn't know any of that information, 5 weeks. 5 weeks is enough time to figure out how this water that you're living on works.
Okay? You know the current and you sure as hell know the tides, or you would not have been coming into the bathtub deep water, right? So there's one thing I call
exactly bathtub deep. Exactly.
Bullshit on. But also, you spent the night already right off Elbow Key, because I saw you. I saw you at the Firefly Inn. You dropped your anchor on Friday and you slept on board till Saturday.
Yes, so you knew, right? You knew when you had to wait. You look at the times. They couldn't get in. They had to wait to get in until 11 o'clock in the morning. They docked out in the deeper water. not docked. They threw anchor and spent the night.
Saturday and you pulled up anchor at 11:30 in the morning. So don't you tell me that you don't know the currents and the tides. You dropped anchor and slept. And as a former captain, I love saying that. It's like I did captain a boat, but I'm no captain. A keel boat. You don't sleep because you're so worried about dragging anchor. And if you don't,
Yeah, and this is something that we talked about, and that can happen in any boat. It's scary when all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're kind of just chilling, and you realize you're in a different part of the water.
know the tides, you're not even going to drop anchor, and you are sure as shit not going to bed because you don't know if you're going to float and bring that anchor up and float away. So don't you tell me that you don't know the tides, Brian Hooker. You do so. You brag to people that you haven't tied up to a dock for 2 years. You know the tides. You know the currents. All right, this next clip. Blaine Stevenson asks a very, very...
Now this, just wait. Sit down, because this just gets even worse.
Clear and concise question. Were you anchored off of Abaco Inn? This is a very easy answer. Yes, but slightly south of the channel that takes you into the Abaco Inn. There, I answered it. Instead, you're going to get, yet again...
Exactly, Truth, and exactly, Ashleigh. Easy. Couple words. You got the answer, right?
And verbal logorrhea from this motherfucker. He just goes on and then just starts to throw in, like, the risk. He starts talking about the people down at Tahiti Beach, a quarter mile away, who he's bragging to. I mean, listen, a lot of people who live aboard...
This is the barge that comes in. Look at that water. You can literally... And now she's going to drop her camera down in the water, too. So watch at the depth of this.
Or our cruisers, they literally live on sailboats and they move around the cabin. They like to say, I haven't tied up to a dock in X number of days, months, years. It's kind of a bragging right. But this guy.
So you see that? We can see the sand down here, the water level down here. That's what? 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet?
Like to say, I haven't tied up to a dock in X number of days, months, years. It's kind of a bragging right. But this guy's now bringing it into the conversation. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. His wife is still missing only a couple days. He started to bring into the conversation that, we talk about how risky it is, and here I am now. I've lost my wife now. What do you know?
Yeah, this. Again, it's not about my wife. It's not about she's missing. It's about I don't have her. I've lost her. She belongs with me. That does not sit right with me.
Really? This is what you want to say to Blaine Stevenson when he just wants to know where were you anchored? Have a listen.
So you guys were anchored outside Abaco Inn, like by White Sound or Joe's Cave?
Hi, Austin.
Yeah, we were anchored out by we were anchored out, I would say, a half mile south of the channel, the White Sound channel on Elbow Key towards Tahiti Beach. We were at the south end of something called On Pat's Bay, like California St. Ant,
Notice what's in that. Notice what's in this little wagon. Anybody notice saw what was in that wagon? They're scuba tanks. So something else we found out.
But yeah, we had gone whatever, half a mile or so, 3/4 to Tahiti Beach, where that's the popular place. Hung out there all day, met people that later, the next 2 days later, cool people. And I remember, you know how it is, people that don't do what you and Marnie and Lynette, they think we're fucking awesome. And I wax pontifical about having an authentic life, and it's authentic because there's risk. And then I lost my fucking wife that same night.
I lost my wife. Here we are talking about risk and how it's great, and I get to live an authentic life. And now I've lost my wife.
I feel like the gods were listening in.
This guy, there's the old expression, thou doth pro...
I wrote it down where they... Let me see. It says... Oh, where did I write it down? Thought it started with a W. Something key.
Pest too much. And what I hear from Brian Hooker is a guy who just can't shut up. He is getting in his own way, and he's talking way too much and adding way too much detail that's unnecessary. And why? I have a huge favor to ask of you. Huge and critically important.
It says what I heard. I want to look on a map again to see. Great Wanna Bay or Great Wanna Cay. That's what it sounded like to me. Is where they filled up their scuba tanks. So it was a different island that they went to, or a different area in that inlet that they went to. But if they're getting their own tanks filled, all of that, these are certified divers. Okay? I mean, so that's even better equipped to be in water, to be swimming in water, to know the conditions, to have that burned in your brain about the conditions of the water and the weather that are around you. Because even if you're underwater, weather affects the ocean, the little channels, all of that.
The American Coast Guard investigators who are working on this case, they need your help and I need your help. So if you were in this area on Saturday night, April 4th, the night before Easter, at any time, do you have video? Do you have photos? Were you snapping pictures of the sunset at the Abaco Inn? Because you may have captured images of Lynette or Brian.
And where she was, and if she ever made it to that dinghy.
You may have captured images of their dinghy. There's so much information in those images. So if you would be so kind.
No, the Abaco Inn will not release the police will not allow them to release their footage. So something is in that footage. Because if it was just timestamps, and maybe that's it. Maybe it's back again. They don't want this footage let out because then he knows what they know. And he is already taken off. Because as we saw last night, Mr. I'll hunt till I won't quit looking for the rest of my life, left soon after he got released from jail. Left his sailboat there on the mooring. It's still there as far as we know. And took off to go visit his sick mother, who has been sick, according to the stepdaughter, has been sick for all this time. So they went and left on a 2-year excursion. But she wasn't so sick that it was okay to be somewhere where you were where you couldn't just leave and be there in a heartbeat. But now that his wife is still missing, he needs to go visit his mother. This is the thing. Nobody has a perfect relationship. And trust me, Driver and I have had our issues. We've been together for 13 years. There's no way we couldn't have issues here and there, right? But if we went somewhere, especially in a different country, there is absolutely no way. And they don't have small children that they have to get home to. They don't have a home that they have to get home to and take care of. That boat is their home. In my opinion, there's absolutely no reason he isn't sitting on that boat, going out and searching every single day if what he said happened. And the cushion floated up not far from where he ended up. So where's she and where's this dry bag? And how in the world, like I said, in all that commotion, would she have been able to grab the dry bag and the key up out of the motor and gone? I mean, yes, there's a string on it, but those things don't just fall out. They are kill switches, but they don't just fall out.
Send those images, videos to dropdeadseriousinfo@gmail.com. Dropdeadseriousinfo@gmail.com. The link is right below. We're making it easy for you. If you don't want to send them to me, okay, I get it. Send them to cgistips.com. It's a website, but if you want, there's a QR code on the screen as well, and that cracks this case. Hey, listen, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much.
That is all she wrote for that. But yeah, I don't know. Well, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. Yes, if she had been so sick, why wasn't it a big deal until now? Yeah, he's running, he's hiding. I feel like he's using that as an excuse. So now we have new things. There's about an hour difference in the timeline from what he said. They're certified divers. So these aren't people that don't know about the water. They knew when to throw anchor and park out further until the tide was high enough to get the sailboat in that area into the mooring, right? They knew enough about the tide then, the currents. They spent their entire day on the water. I mean, in today's technology, this right here is how you can get wave reports, current maps, weather reports, right from your phone. Well, and that's it too. There's going to be, I mean, we know that there is footage. And for whatever reason, the Bohemian police do not want them to release this. So that tells me that there's got to be something in there. And like I said, they probably don't want him to know that they know as much. It's kind of like, I think she said last night, and like she said with these phone calls, like just keep on talking. Keep on talking. Keep on, because guilty people talk and they often bust themselves. And the fact that, they released him because they didn't have enough evidence, we don't know. They could have been on that boat a lot. Now that was something, and I'm going to try and find that interview for our next live. But there's an interview where the daughter said when they got on the boat was like trashed. Like there's things all over the place. Because she went on and was able to get some of her mother's things. She got a necklace we saw last night. It was a gold L necklace. And yeah, he had a lawyer as soon as he got arrested. I wonder. See, I don't know how Bohemian law works. Is that like a public defender, or was he calling because he was worried? That could be too, if they released him to see if he went back to find her. Did they actually, maybe she did get on the dinghy. Did something happen on that boat that night? I mean, it just, because why doesn't he want to go back to that boat either? Because if that were me or driver, we would be sitting on that boat just because maybe, just to be there if they find her. I mean, I just don't understand that. I don't understand. So it's going to be really interesting in the next, how this plays out. I don't know. I do not feel like this guy is telling the truth. And I know a lot of you guys feel that way too. Because these aren't amateurs. These aren't people that, I mean, it sounds like at least she was adamant about safety and about all of this. And you don't think you couldn't really be on the water that long and not taking into account these safety protocols that are necessary and not have other horrible incidents happen. So, yeah, I wondered that too, because, that one lady that did her video, she said she thought something happened on the boat and put her in the dinghy. But when we saw those boats are pretty close, I think that would be pretty obvious. But if you got her to go back in there, okay, let's go. It wouldn't be smart to be out there in dark. If the water's really calm, okay, let's go get dinner. And because again, nobody sees or hears from him again until 4 a.m. the next day at a marina that's all the way across the channel. And again, the rescuers, all these guys have said that it would take approximately 20 to 30 minutes for him to float on the currents over there. But it took him 8 hours. And he fires his flare 2,000 yards away from where he ends up. Or 2,000 yards away from where she supposedly went in. Well, and see, that's it too. He had hours of cover-up time. Exactly. He had hours to do something with her. Did he spike a drink and put her in the boat and bloop? Or did something happen? Did something happen at that Abaco Inn? And she never ever made it on the dinghy. I find that odd that she wasn't with them. Because that's another thing too. Like if we're on vacation or whatever, let's say they went to the restroom before they got on the boat, which, okay, fine. Usually, like driver would have waited outside the restroom or whatever for me. He wouldn't have gone on and gotten on the boat. He would have waited for me. I don't know. This is not adding up. This is not, it's not copacetic with me. So, you know, we're going to keep on it. We're going to keep watching for this stuff. And see if there's any. Oh, this is not the one thing I wanted to see if there's any updates. Hopefully they find her, but I'm thinking this is going to be more of a land search. Oh boy. I'm just trying to see. There are some updates on any of the other stuff that we're following. Now this is from Plunder. So let me see. I'll read this because I don't want to dox myself, but it's from Plunder. This is on her Facebook, and it's paperwork from the sheriffs, and it says the attached form is titled Superior Court for Chelan County, and it's filled out by the sheriff's office deputy. This is regarding JLR and the Washington incident with Jamie. It says the form is valid, did not come from Superior Court. The affidavit for probable cause. This affidavit for probable cause has not become a court document as charges has not been filed yet to create a case number. The last information I have from the prosecutor's office is this incident is under charging review. I have no court documents to provide until a case is filed and a case number is assigned, and that has not happened yet. If a case is open for these charges, it's telling her she can request documents using the clerk's record request form. So what she's showing here is, the probable cause affidavit. And so they're still working on this. So I know a lot of people were asking, why hasn't anything happened so far? Yada, yada, yada. They're working on it. I think a big part of a lot of this is that you've got two different police agencies completely across the United States. What is this? Now, this person says that a warrant has been entered, but I have not seen an actual warrant entered yet. Oh, it's not approved yet. It's a request for one. So see, that's why if there's a request, you're not going to be able to see that yet. Let's see. I don't want to show all this because I don't want to get... I'm just being very careful, all of this stuff. Because it's just not worth it. Oh, apparently, have y'all seen this? Guess who? He is in solitary confinement now for social media posts, apparently. That's what I think too. And it wouldn't be that hard to dig in any of that sand in that area around there. So Joe Exotic is in solitary confinement. Still has very, very bad hair. Oh, this is that Celeste. That David got arrested. I saw that. I need to catch up on that. Ooh, bees. No, thank you. But I don't see anything new as far as any information yet about Nancy Guthrie, other than this guy got pulled over because he was sitting in the street and not on the what do you call it? That's Magnolia, her picture after she got home. But they're pulling them over for being in the street and being an obstruction. So that is oh yeah. I am surprised that they can be on social media in prison. I didn't know that. I didn't know that that was a thing. I thought that that's not really safe, is it? Damn, like, I mean, maybe it depends on what your crimes are, but if you're, because think about that. Think about our little friend having access to social media. If he does get just desserts in this whole case. I mean, yikes. But yeah, so this is just we're still waiting to see what the FBI lab comes back on with the that hair DNA. Everything's kind of quieted down about that Richard Nolet Jr. I honestly, I've listened to interviews with him. I listened to another video of another creator that thought he was like kind of stuck up on him, thinks that what exactly happened, Truth? They were going to go fishing or something, and he went to this area first before he met him there, and the guy was there or something, and I don't know. I think either he's someone who has done some really horrible things, or he's just a very sick man who has like attached himself to this, because everything, like, I keep seeing everybody saying, well, everything he says checks out. Well, yeah, if we can look it up, he can look it up too. And I felt like he was adding, I believe the ciphers with the Zodiac killer and all that stuff, I believe those are true. Those are right. The ciphers, all of that. I know that the whole burger chef thing, that was attached to, part of one of those ciphers was attached to the game, the video game. And it was in the video game. And people believed that that was a secret message. Yes. Let me. Okay. I'm ready. You can. I'm good. I turned all of my stuff off, so. You can call me on either phone or Facebook, whichever's easier for you. Hello? Oh, my hair is really hit today. Wow. See, I shouldn't have gone to bed with it wet. Okay, no problem. Somebody play the Jeopardy theme song. No, don't. I think it's probably copyrighted. It'll just give me. And hey, by the way, thank you for new subscribers, for everybody that's new here. If you are new here and you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button and everybody hit the thumbs up for me. Excuse me. And hit the notification bell so you know when we're live and you can come back and hang out with us. I got these bandanas from Shein. They were only $3 and I got 3 of them, and they're super comfy, by the way. So there was a black one, a white one, and a navy one. And they have like a little tie, but they're stretchy like t-shirt material. But oh, here she is. Okay. Hello? Hello. Here, let me switch. I'm going to switch my camera off. And then, all right. So we've got Truth Warrior on the phone. So.
Hey, everybody. All right. So about the Sleuth Richard situation, make sure you can hear me good before I start spinning it all out.
Can everybody in here hear? Can we get like some ones in the chat if you can hear her? Hello? There's such a lag.
Yeah.
Nobody's answering, so.
It's okay. If you can hear me,
yep.
we're good.
Untamable gave me a 1, so we're good. Like I said, I've got a huge lag, I think. So.
Yeah. Okay. So the sleuth thing with Richard. Richard had told about the Rose Canyon Lake, how Nancy was supposedly in there. So Sleuth wanted to go check that out, and he had an underwater camera to take with him to put on a fishing pole, because of all the rules with this lake that you can't touch it at all. Okay. There's so many rules around it. So he told everybody he had plans to go a certain day or whatever. Well, being safe, he went a different day ahead of time without telling anybody. So that way nobody could follow him or show up without him knowing, set him up. Well, he goes and he spends the day doing this camera work at the lake. And when he's leaving, he explains that, like, you come down the mountain, and it's like the first area that you get cell service. And there's like a turnaround area there that you can pull in and turn around or whatever, pull off and sit and use your phone. Well, he's coming down the mountain and he notices this older truck with a camper bed on the back of it. And he happens to look at the guy sitting there, and he swears that it looks just like Richard. And the guy was sitting there looking at his phone, like, doing something on his phone, and Sleuth said that he had actually gotten an email from him at the same time. Like, when this happened, he's getting emails from the Richard guy. And it just gave him a really uneasy feel, like, that's the first place you get cell service. He feels like maybe he was trying to possibly lure him there, for what reasons we're unsure of, but it just was very creepy. Then that's when Sleuth said that he would not have any more conversations with Richard. Anything that he sent him, he was forwarding straight to the FBI. Like, he got really freaked out about it, which I would too.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Yeah, me too.
Well, then there's more, because apparently February 10th, I believe, is one of the times. But on JLR's live, there was this older truck that looked very similar to the one that had the camper bed on it. Well, camper beds can easily be put on and off at the bed of the truck. So at Nancy's, there was no camper bed, but at the mountain, there was. So he was thinking he was possibly staying in the camper up near Rose Canyon Lake during this time frame. Now, it could have been, if we think he's the one responsible for Nancy, it could have been, this whole time. And he's got the camera footage from his house that he had shared, his apartment. And Sleuth was just thinking that, he could be anywhere and still have that camera feed going to where he could speak back to whoever's at his door or whatever,
Yeah.
and not make it obvious that he's away from home. So there's just a lot to that. But yeah, Sleuth was feeling like maybe he was not necessarily waiting for him that day, but he was definitely there.
That's freaky.
And possibly setting him up.
I was just going to say setting up a scenario. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot to that, but it's very interesting.
And that's it. You just don't know who's on the phone. You don't know who's in these chats, and even if he's not I think he's up to something for sure. But was that whole story just to lure that guy there to do something to him? I mean, we
really don't know, but he also came up and was talking about, oh gosh, I don't remember her name right off without my notes. I want to say maybe Alexis is her name, but there was another missing lady that went missing in Mesa, Arizona, and they found part of her body dismembered. I think they found her head and her torso, but they haven't found the rest of her. And he was giving information about that was tied to his, his father, his family, however he puts it. But I don't know. It's just a lot. It's crazy.
I had a question because he had said in one of the interviews that he had not spoken to his family in 10 years. So that's why I was wondering, how would he have had any of that knowledge of things that were going on now with them if he hadn't spoken to them? That possibly it's a way to tell, maybe he did have something to do with it, but it's a way to tell his story and put it on someone else.
And still get the reward.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because he's sending YouTubers to go check it. So they say they come across Nancy. Well, then they're questioned, well, where did you get this information from? And they say, well, we got it from this Richard guy.
Yeah.
So he gets a reward. So it's smart, but it's just very creepy that this could very, very well be playing out in front of our eyes.
Yikes. And that's something that a lot of us have said, is that when we do find this out, it's going to be something that we never imagined, probably. It's not going to be anything that we're coming up with all these elaborate stuff, and it might just be some very ill person that did this, that saw her, that it was targeted, but for reasons that we can't even fathom right now, and because that hit me too when he said that this has been planned for 6 years. Again, if he hasn't talked to his family and it's supposed to be his dad's last hurrah, none of that made sense to me. But I'm glad he's turning that into the FBI, because that is something that is scary. And he may, even if he's not involved in this, he may be involved in something else that they can tie him to, because again, he seems to like to talk.
Exactly.
And so that's the best kind of suspect, is one that likes to talk, because if they're guilty, they always let it spill. Always. So.
And he has a lot of people going through his words right now.
Yeah.
He also, on the live where Sleuth was explaining this, Richard came into the chat and was saying, you could tell he was getting upset, but he wasn't giving any kind of feedback on, like Sleuth was like, well, you can prove that this is true by sending from your camera 2 officers that he said he spoke with.
Oh, that's,
if you really did, then just send that, and it's all, okay, but he hasn't sent anything like that, and he never gave any of the information that Sleuth was asking to make sure things were what he was saying. And
Doug had said that Richard had said that he had an appointment with FBI and detectives that was like 3 or 4 days ago. So he would have.
If you have information like this, they're not going to wait and set an appointment for you. They're going to get you right in or come and question you where you're at.
They're going to be at your door. Yeah.
Like he's explaining. Yeah. So something's definitely up with that. I'm not sure, but it's worth watching.
See, that's what happens. All these little side cases that end up coming up out of this, and maybe that's it. Maybe we won't figure out what happened to her, but maybe they'll figure out some of the other stuff. Maybe he's responsible for some of the other missing people in that area. So, I mean, just wow. What a week.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Man. Well, all right. Well, I'm going to let you go, and then I'm going to close this up because I have to get some kiddos to bed, and then I got to put all that stuff on my website. I will put a community post up when I get that stuff on the website tonight. And let me see. Like I said, I'll do a little here. I'll hang up with you because I know I interrupted your day too with this going early. I just was like, oh my gosh, thank you for coming on and explaining that.
You're fine. I've just been cutting grass and trying to still chat while I'm doing it. So I'm gonna finish that up, but it doesn't make sense easier than typing it out. So
exactly. So all right, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye everybody.
Bye. Hi, Palm Queen. How you doing? Good to see you, girl. I surprised everybody today by doing an earlier live. So, but yeah, so that Richard guy, he just, I don't know. There's something. I just wonder if this is, like I said, like some kind of elaborate story to get the reward money, or just to get even attention. I don't think he's innocent. I think he's done something, that's for sure, because he's scary. I mean, let's admit it, he's scary. But other than that, there are no more updates. That was the new news that we had about Brian Hooker, and that's a lot to digest. And that really makes the story completely different, you know? Oh, I did hear that too. And I thought, why would you get, like, why would you, I didn't understand that either, why he would get threats because of the ciphers. I mean, when, you know, there's millions of people that are interested in trying to dissect it, have been for years. So, I mean, I think Doug said he's got a book of the original ciphers that is a published book. So, yeah, like I said, there's just, again, maybe trying too hard for certain, whatever reason. I'm not sure, but it's definitely odd. And like I said, I don't believe now. I'm really doubting. I'm really wondering if this Lynette Hooker ever actually made it out to that dinghy. If something happened to her on land, or what he said happened, definitely, I don't believe happened. The way he acts, the way he's talking. I did find a couple of those. I shared on my wall the one video with the hi Matthew, how you doing? With the one behavior specialist on there. I really encourage you to watch it. It's interesting when she talks about his facial expressions, the way he acts, the way he moves. It was just really eye-opening into now this smirk that you see over on the right-hand picture, that was one of the smirks that he did to the news crews. And your wife, the love of your life, is missing and you're smirking when they say, like, how do you feel that they didn't, you know, that they let you go or that they arrested you? I mean, most men would just be like, I just want to find her. I just want to get out of here and find her. Not go running home to your mom. I mean, like I said, even if Driver was mad at me, he wouldn't have left me out there like that. It wouldn't have happened. And part of me wonders, was there a fight? And OnlyFans profile, what? I don't have an OnlyFans profile pic. All right, good to see you too, Untamable. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with us. But Is that his OnlyFans profile pic? So I'm still catching up on all this. Probably. Yeah, probably. Is it? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. But could they have gotten in a fight about something like that if he has an OnlyFans? If somebody was contacting him, we know how women are on all social media. Okay, they're thirsty. They're thirsty. So could they have gotten in an argument about that? About something like that? Maybe that's why she was sitting there like this. Maybe she wasn't cold. Maybe she was ticked off. Because that's what I said. Michigan women, we're just not known to be demure and sweet, and it's just not one of the things we're known for. We're good. We're good cooks. We're tough. If you can make it through, -20 for 6 months, you can make it through almost anything. And yeah, I don't know. I don't believe him at all. I think he did something to her. In the very least, they got in some kind of fight, and maybe he dumped her overboard and took off on her. Maybe she did try to swim, and maybe she got taken by a shark or something, and then he had to figure out, oh my gosh, what am I going to tell everybody? I left her out in the water. And that's why he's feeling so guilty. Something has got him feeling guilty. Not just that, hey, it was an accident. She bounced out of the boat. I was supposed to protect her. Well, then why were you standing in the front of the boat and she was driving if the seas were so rough? If you were supposed to protect her. What did she need protecting from? Because I think she needed protecting from him, in my opinion. And like I said, she probably gave him right back what he gave her. It sounds like that when you look at the police reports from years ago. And things can change. There wasn't anything for, years. But that also doesn't mean that nothing happened. It just means nothing was reported. So, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I don't doubt it. I mean, it's just, I like that. But that's it. It's just the stuff that he's saying is just so ridiculous. I mean, and all the extra information he's giving that it's kind of like, okay, nobody really cares about. We don't like he goes on to talk about his vacation and how everything was great. And I just can't imagine thinking about that at all when my significant other is missing. Like I said, I don't care how mad you are at him, but I think that's why he went. Could he possibly be going to his mom's because she is terminally ill to spend whatever time with her he can because he knows Lynette's not out there, or he knows they're going to find her if they do a land search? Or in that 8 hours, did he go out and dump her in the Atlantic Ocean? Something happened on the boat. They got in a fight. We got a missing oar. The conditions he describes were reportedly the conditions on the Atlantic that night on the other side of the island. Yeah, to say goodbyes, exactly. Because he knows. And if he goes, he's not going to see his mom again. No, I didn't, Palm Queen. I'll have to look that up. If he'd only given us a little bit of information, like, hey, we got up, we got into a little bit of chop, she bounced out, I tried to get her, we decided to go out into deeper water, we were closer to the boat where it is deeper, yada, yada, and then just leave it at that, okay. But he didn't. He keeps adding and finessing, and things keep changing, and, the truth always stays the same, especially when it is about someone that you've lost or you're looking for. And you might remember things later on, but they're things that are actually helpful in finding the person that you're looking for, right? I mean, none of this makes sense. And it bugs me that the boat was left in such disarray. Like, from what it sounded like from the daughter, like trashed. And literally in such a small spot, you would think that everything would be pretty taken care of in there. Because, I mean, it's not like, it's not like you're working a 9 to 5. That's your very small space that you live on. So you would be, like, I look at all of these, like, van life people who are, it's real similar life. And you don't see trashed vans. You don't see trashed RVs. You see, because it's so small, everything has its place and everything goes back in its place. And I assume because of the people who had like livable boats that I knew, it was always in organized condition, because if not, you'd go absolutely crazy. You wouldn't be able to move around. It would be dangerous to have things like dishes, silverware, things like that are stowed away. They're in certain cabinets that lock. So if you do get into rough waters, it's not spilling everywhere. And wow. Military instructor. Well, and see, that's this too. They were divers. We found out in this last review that we did that they were divers. They had gone to another island either right before, and I'm going to have to listen to it again, but it sounded like right before they anchored the boat out in front of that Firefly Inn, they had gone to another island, and like, I'm going to have to look at the boat. I heard what it sounded like to me was like Grand Wana or something like that, to fill up their dive tanks. And you see in that video, their dive tanks are in the dinghy. Now that's another question, because you would use the dinghy to go diving, right? You wouldn't jump off your sailboat, most likely. You would go off the dinghy and you would launch off the side of the dinghy. Okay. So with that being said, were those dive tanks? I want to see if we can see a picture to see from that day if those dive tanks were in that boat, because I don't know I don't think that picture they were showing where the dinghy was docked, and I think that was when they had gone to probably fill them up. But I wonder if they ever took them back out or if they stayed in there. That's a good question. See, now we have another question we need to answer. Because that's the other thing too. If you're a certified diver, got all that shallow water around there, right? Why wouldn't you go out and dive for her? Go out and see if you can find her, the love of your life. You just want your wife back, because she belongs with you. Because you lost your wife. Not that your wife is out there somewhere. Everything is centered around him and his loss and him being upset and him being worried. Not, oh my gosh, she's out there somewhere. What if she's on an island freezing? What if she's hurt? What if she's this? Nothing. And he's automatically assuming that she fell off and drowned, right? This woman who's a certified diver, who grew up on the Great Lakes her entire life, who grew up sailing, who grew up knowing water safety, boater safety, who was said to have been very, very diligent about safety, as far as knowing the depths, knowing the currents, knowing the weather, using life jackets, not going on the water when the conditions were said to not be safe. Exactly. You don't just fall into, thank you. And that's the other thing. Bathtub deep water, waist deep water at the most at this time. She literally, and there's no way in that depth of water that there would be 3-foot waves. You know, because the deeper the water, the more powerful it is, because you have more current, more all that coming up underneath you and rolling that wave around. Rolling. We talked about it last night. You've got the crest of the wave, you have the valley of the wave. But underneath that crest is that water that is constantly in that circular motion, pushing that wave forward, forward, forward. So, sorry, I didn't mean to like smack anybody in the face. I'm a handsy talker. I've actually smacked myself in the face talking before when I've been really animated about something, but none of this makes sense. It goes against the science of water. It goes against the science of boating. It goes against everything. Because that's the other thing that I keep thinking. If it's that, there's not going to be waves like that, especially if you've got all these sandbars. And what was it? Low tide. I got the other papers in the room. Low tide was around like what, 420, 430? Or was that? No, that was high tide. No, I've got myself confused again. That was low tide. And high tide would have been like at 10 p.m., 10:30. So there's no way at that time of night it would have gone from being a sandbar and maybe a foot or two to maybe 3 or 4 feet of water. She was 5'7", I think they said. So definitely. And she was physically fit. She was a good swimmer. Again, a diver. Active diver, because they were getting their tanks filled. We have all of these pictures of her with a camera documenting everything. So, yeah. And the other thing that bugged me is literally as soon as he got out of jail, he did the press tour. He did 3 different interviews with 3 different mainstream media outlets. ABC, The Today Show, and there was one other one. And I find that weird too. It's because, again, this is different than the Nancy Guthrie case in the sense that you pretty much know where this lady is, right? I mean, there's only, if what he said actually happened, she's only going to be in this certain area. For her to flow all the way out of that entire big area, all the way out of the channel, and then to go off the other way and then float out like down to the end of that was it Lubbers? Was even further down where the outlet to the Atlantic Ocean is. And it's the other side of the island. I think part of it was just they were on social media, and that's probably how they helped their income is through social media and documenting. And like, I know a lot of the like van life people and RV life people that I watch, they'll get sponsorships. Oh, thank you, KD. Thank you. Yeah, they'll be up tonight before I go to bed. So, and you're in green, so you are a member. I will repost everyone that has a membership. You get a code for I give out. It's a members only code, but 20% off of your entire order. It'll show up at checkout, and I do the codes the codes will change every 30 days. So no matter when you get your membership, you will have access to 30 days of a code. So either you'll get 2 codes in 1 month, or you'll be there for the full 30 of one code. So I just wanted to do that as a thank you. Now there is oh, good. Yay. And just so everybody knows too, I do custom sets. It takes a little bit longer for those, but I have a cool way where I can size you through the mail. What I do is you can contact me through my email that is right on my homepage at the bottom. It's like a contact us thing. And, we can, go back and forth about what you want. But then what I do is, so say you want like these extra long square. Okay. I'm going to send you a card in the mail. It's $5 for the custom card, which I have to put those up on the website tonight too. So I'm going to write this right on my paper towel. That hygiene lady would be having a fit right now. So what I do though is, I will send this to you. It's $5, and it will be certain shapes are 0 through 12. Some are 0 through 10, 0 through 11, 1 through 9, whatever it is. I'll send you every single size of one each of that nail set, of that shape. And then what you do is you take them when you get home and you size them. And so this is a 6. So my thumb's a 6. Okay. So then I'm going to take on that card, there's a spot to write down all your fingers. And I'm going to write my left thumb is a 6. So like one of my clients, literally these 3 fingers are all 4s. And so, yep, I sure can. These, I'm going to have them up on the website. So, and it's free shipping right now too, you guys. Because I'm introducing my website. I'm trying to get it out there and trying to get my business out there. So I'm going to eat the shipping for a little while until, more people see me and know me. And, but yeah, so what you do then is underneath on the card, you'll write, so here, we use, we'll use my notes. Okay. So you'll get a card. It's got the nails like glued to them like this. I don't have any of the card. They're in my office box in the garage, but, and it'll be all the sizes. And then you'll have your 10 fingers and you write down the size on each one. And then we'll discuss the design. And then once you order, oh, I know. See, you can't see me. Let me do there. Okay. I forgot in vertical, you can't see me. It puts my picture like all the way down at the bottom. But it'll be a card with 10 nails, 12 nails, 13, whatever it is. And then you size it. And then underneath there'll be a spot for your 5 fingers on your left, 5 fingers on your right. You write the number that it is. And then you take a picture of it and email that to me. And I will keep that on file for the extra long square. Because each nail shape size differently. But then, so say this is your favorite style. Then when you take your first order, I will take that $5 off of the set that you get that's custom. And then after that, I keep this in a file. It doesn't get sold to anybody. It's just in a box in my office of your size. It'll be your name and your size. And then when you want to order another set, you don't have to resize. So if you like I said, the extra long square, just tell me this, and it's easy. So and then every time you change sizes, I'll file that in your own file, and you'll have a record of what size nails. And the thing is like, so say you decide to do it and you don't decide to order nails from me. You decide that, hey, I sized myself and now I'm going to go to somebody else or whatever. Well, at least I got $5 out of it, right? I paid for the nails that I sent you and the stamp. So oh, thanks, Palm Queen. They're fun. I like doing this because I'm so ADHD. I can change my mind anytime I want. These I've got that's something I have to do this week or this weekend too. I need to change my ink because I want to show you guys how I do these. Let me see. Let me take off where are you? There. Okay. I don't know if you can see. You see that one with the bow on it? And these ones? These are actually decals that I make. And you can inlay. You see that it's got the roses? But you can also see these are not thin nails. They're nice and strong. They're reinforced with gel. So you're really getting a good quality. I put these on, and as long as I explained how to put them on earlier in the video. Thank you. Oh, that would be cool. I'll have to look at that and see. I'll get some ideas. And that's another thing. I have no issues. If there's something, if you say, hey, I want to see, such and such I want these nails. Now, I will never guarantee that I will be able to do someone else's work, complete carbon copy. But let me see if I can find if she's on here. Oh, where are they? I did. That's something too. I have to be real careful because of, copyright things like that. But custom nails, I have a lot more, what do I want to say? A lot more freedom as far as what I can do that's not advertised, if that makes sense. So, if you know, you know. Oh, I don't have it on here. Shoot. It might be on this one. I did a really cool, did I put them on here? I got too many phones, you guys. And none of them does Jason Momoa call me on and tell me how wonderful I am. And I think that that's wrong because I think he needs to do that. Oops. I'll find these. Oh my gosh, it's like my mom when she tried to find something on my phone. I'm turning into my mother, by the way, you guys. So just bear with me. I got all this stuff. I got all this true crime stuff on my phone. I got nails and then true crime. Nails and then true crime. And I know I saved it because I just talked to this girl the other day. And I forgot and I wanted to ask her. Oh, come on. But I do. If you send me a picture and say, hey, I love these, I really want them, then I will. I mean, and it may not be like, you're not going to be able to hold them up next to each other and say exact same nail. No one can completely copy the art that someone else does, but I can come pretty close. Ooh, that reminds me too. I've got pictures on here that I need to put up of, was that Starla Goings? It's another woman out of Michigan that is missing. She's been missing since last August. And again, a failing marriage, a marriage that was on the rocks, and they went to a fair together. Arrived back home, and she was supposedly, that they got in a little argument, and she left on foot in the dark of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which literally you can't see your hand in front of your face. Okay. Hi, little Miss Chi-Town. How you doing? Pretty little Angela. I know where I can find them. Just a second. I will find these nails. Now I'm on a mission. Oh, thank you so much. You're so sweet. Thank you. See, I can see. Let me find her. I can see like the super chats and the memberships, but I cannot see I can't see like if somebody like gives me like the stickers or the gifts, it won't show up. And it'll show up on my phone like if I've loaded it up and put the chat on, but I can't see let's see. Where is she? Oh, goodness. No. Where are they? I can't find it now. Of course. I'll find it and I'll show you guys, but they were really cool. It was the white Monster Energy cans. You know, it's got that artwork. So I figured out how to make these decals to like slide the artwork on. And then I had to take silver paint and kind of like finagle them a little so it looked a little bit more like that. And oh my gosh, doing that Monster M, it took me so long, but they ended up looking so cool. And so yeah, I'll try and find that picture and show you guys when I can. I will most likely find it 5 minutes after I go off of here. But all right. So yeah, and I did it again. Yep, I am in Michigan. I'm in the which way? So if you're looking at me, is that the right way? I'm like down in this area. Thumbish, the chubby Thumbish area north of Detroit. I'm in a little town we call Walnut Grove. Everything closes by 8:00 at night. Everything's dark. They did just put one of those what are they called? Those community cameras up like near my house. So I said, so we gotta laugh, like we're the safest neighborhood around. So I don't care. My whole town is freaking out about these flock cameras. That's what they are, flock cameras. I'm like, you know, if someone in our town wants to see me in my PJs on the front porch at 1:00 in the morning, you know, in the summertime, then whatever, I guess. Have fun watching me with my tea and my and my YouTube, because that's really all I'm doing. Either watching a show on my phone or on my tablet, sitting there just chilling until driver gets home. So, and now this summer you guys will be able to be out there with me, so that'll be fun. But yeah, so said I'm gonna get little guy to bed. And I never ate any dinner, actually. I just realized that. So I'm going to get little guy to bed, get some dinner, and then get the pictures done of these, put them on the website, and I will put a community post up, or I'll do a little video, or I don't know, I'll do something, but you will know. You will know that they are up. So, so yeah. And also, I got one other oil, and it is a honey almond blend. And so I was actually looking for cherry almond because a lot of us like that kind of old time scent. But I'm going to try this one too. I don't know what I'm going to try it in. But so far we've got oils. Next will be scrubs and soaks. And then after that, I am going to start working on some like body and foot butter and some like light lotion. And I have a really good recipe for a natural bug spray that smells, it's real good. It smells like it's essential oil, so you're not going to stink. It's kind of lemony. It's kind of spicy. And we used it because, that smells good on my hands. We came up with it because last year where we were at the marketplace, there were all these yellow jackets. Now, I love bumblebees, but I hate yellow jackets. And they were like attacking us and attacking our customers. So, and you can't, you know, in the public, you can't use Raid and stuff like that. You know, we had a bunch of babies and people with their dogs and all that stuff. So we had to be real careful. And I just took this mixture and like spritzed it around the top of my tent and around the bottom. And we were safe in our little bubble. So, oh yeah. Oh gosh. Be careful. You know what? See, we're already we don't want to have to cover you, Truth, in a crime story. Okay. Doing all this stuff after dark. No, be careful. So, all right, you guys. Thank you so much. And thank you and welcome to the new subscribers. You guys are awesome. Said hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification button, because we are going to keep following this Lynette Hooker case. We are going to keep on trying to get justice for Magnolia. We are going to keep trying to see what the court stuff goes on with JLR. And also, like I said, we've got Letitia Stoke that's going to be retrying. We've got Ramon Preciado on the 11th of May that's going to court. And yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. So, and that's just how I am. I am not the type of person that sits there and just keeps like going after just one story. I don't like to watch cactuses. So the way my brain works is I'm constantly just, it's like switching channels, click, 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 click. So that's what we do here. We just, we ride the wave. So, oh, no sliding down Chicken Pen Hill. That's what we'll call Chicken Pen Hill. So, all right, guys, everyone have a great night and relax, chill, have fun. Let me know if you heard anything that I didn't or if I got anything wrong. I appreciate being corrected as long as you're nice to me, because I'll either yell or cry. I'm menopausal, so you just got to watch out. Most days it's a good day though. So, all righty. Thanks for being here. Bye, everybody. Peace, love, and claws, y'all, even though I got nubs. Good night. Have a great one. And thank you again, everyone. I appreciate you.